ITC Doyle reporting for Impartner. Welcome to Lessons from the Edge. With us today is our old friend Theresa Caragol. Theresa is the founder, CEO, and principal analyst at Achieve Unite. Theresa, welcome.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here always with you, my friend.
Oh, it's always good to see you. Today, we're talking 7 myths of being a channel chief. Before we get to those, I think everybody knows Achieve Unite, but for those that don't, walk them through your company, its mission, and its focus.
Well, about 5 years ago, I started Achieve Unite after being a former channel chief, and best thing I ever did. And I am very proud of our company. We focus in consulting and advising and channel strategy, programs, best in class. How do you do it right first time? How do you fix the big challenges when you're not getting the revenue growth you need or the transformation that you need? You know, that's our sweet spot.
And thought leadership, education, you help companies large and small.
And then the other part of our business is our growing education. And you're exactly right. All of the offerings in the Channel Acceleration Bootcamp, our ACE Leadership Program. But we're all about the EQ and the IQ of channel. And pretty soon we'll be unveiling PQ. So I'll give you a precursor to what PQ will be sometime.
All right, let's end this broadcast with the precursor to what PQ is. But let's dive to it. Impartner, as you well know, we're the leader in PRM the world over. Today, we're going to be talking about the 7 myths of being a channel chief. Theresa is also a member of the Channel Chief Advisory Board here at Impartner. We're very glad to have her and a bunch of other thought leaders with us. Theresa, you've stood and wore that hat and walked in those shoes of being a channel chief yourself. Let's start. Number 1, your executive management team understands what channels are, what they can do, and how they operate. Why is that a myth? Don't they understand that?
Well, you know, certainly the more mature vendors and carriers in this space do, but most executives don't or could stand to learn additional expertise. So, you know, don't assume, really seek to understand and be curious first and really help them on that journey. And then the other thing, just along the myth of executives, is guess what many channel chiefs and directors and senior managers and managers do is we give them way too much information. So the second part of the myth is don't believe that you have to tell them everything. Really be clear and concise in your communication.
So communicate effectively, but judiciously.
That's exactly right.
And don't assume anything that they know everything about what your go-to-market strategies are. All right, good tips there. Revenue is a leading indicator that tells you everything you need to know about how well you're doing.
That was a good one. I like that. Yeah. Revenue is not a leading indicator, right? Revenue is a lagging indicator of success. There are many other predictors that will tell you whether you're on the right path. And the key and the science art is to make sure you have the correct predictors to building your channel and your partner ecosystem.
And revenue is not it. What are better indicators to help you understand where you are in the channel success continuum?
Well, you might have logins to your portal. You might have deal registrations. You might have certain competencies. You know, what you have to be careful of is making sure that those are real predictors, because I've also seen people pick leading indicators, but they're not really the right leading indicators. So that's part of what you have to figure out.
Very good. So just like in a global economy, employment can be a lagging indicator. Revenue in a channel sense can be one as well. Good. Non-obvious too. I like that. All right. Number 3, a go-to-market strategy is really a sales strategy in disguise.
I like this one too. So a go-to-market strategy is a company strategy, right? It's a company way you go to market. So if you decide you want to do business in a partner ecosystem or with channel partners, the entire company needs to be on board, from product to finance to legal. It doesn't mean they have to do that day one. It doesn't mean we have to change the way we do business, but cross-functional alignment is really important to later success.
Well, and you and I both know the fiefdoms that exist within an organization, but the fiefdoms that even exist within the go-to-market teams between marketing, sales, and sales can be further divided by direct and channel sales, portal sales, and what have you. It's very tricky.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Okay. Let's go on to number 4. Partners are essentially customers with similar needs and concerns. Now, why is that a myth?
Well, and that's an interesting one, because there are scenarios where partners are customers with similar needs and concerns. So I think our approach on this one should
marketing help and stuff like that.
Right. Sometimes that could be the case, right? You work with an MSP and the MSP is actually your customer and it's also your partner. So I would say that's a half and half. That's true. But then there are many other cases of different partner types where the business proposition is completely different from the customer value proposition. And so they are your partners, and their value proposition might encompass a piece of that customer proposition, but there's a whole nother piece about why they want to do business with you. And many companies don't get that right.
I'm going to throw you a curveball as well, and I know you can handle this pitch. Another thing is how much information you share with a customer. You're trying to get the maximum return for your engagement with them, but you need to share much more with your partners. And time and again, you and I have seen so many vendors stumble over that. So talk a little bit about, you've got to share with them and think of them in different ways and use different muscle groups than you would with them.
Right. Your communication mediums, the vehicles, those need to be different. And most importantly, the messaging and the story and what that partner cares about is very different.
And the transparency.
And that's also changing right now because there's a massive evolution going on in the channel, as you well know.
Right. Partners are market makers. Another myth. Number 5, partners can make a market if properly incented. Are partners market makers? What do vendors really need to understand? Can I just hire a bunch of partners and list them, recruit them, enable them, and then sit back and let the money flow in?
I know. So Ron Roner, one of my mentors, used to really, this was his, right? Partners don't make markets. And that is very true. Now, what has happened with the advent of affiliate models and marketplaces and referral models and, is that partners, alliances, people that are doing their natural motion and might actually grab a referral for Impartner, right? Those things you can do, but partners in general do not make markets. They can make new opportunities. That's a huge part of it.
All righty, here's one that I see time and again myself. Everyone in your company will rally to support your channel objectives.
Oh man, I wish I would have understood that when I was the channel chief at Sienna. We all used to think that, and oftentimes channel do. And what we have to remember is we have to understand where we are in the vendor maturity curve. We have what's called a vendor maturity index. And at certain phases, there's certain groups that need to be really on board, right? When you're a very mature channel company like a Microsoft, or you're doing business 100% through partners like a Datto, then everybody in the company is rallying to support. But when you're over here in a very immature, and growing place, there's certain groups that are key. And so the magic and our science is to helping our companies, our clients, our partners know exactly who they need on the boat at the right time.
I think that's a critical point, especially for organizations that have a brand new channel coming to fore for the first time. They assume that everyone throughout, and the brand new channel chief assumes that everybody's on board with his or her agenda, with his or her objectives, and that they will rally to support those when in fact they might be at odds with either a direct sales effort, or especially if they're trying to bring a new technology like our platform, our partner relationship management platform. If that's not been communicated and planned for and budgeted, then you might run into some frenemies in your IT department. So those things have to be coordinated. Excellent point. Okay, let's bring us to number 7, our last one. Once partners get established, channels essentially run on their own.
Yeah, right. I mean, that would be a dream, right? And there are certain tools and automation and programs and frameworks that all help you to scale and discipline and create institutional trust between companies. But there is no such thing as autopilot in this space. So yes, it takes a commitment, and it takes a long-term commitment to do business with partners and channel ecosystems. And we really believe firmly that, every company needs an ecosystem of partners, regardless of their maturity.
Well, and speaking of automation. There's no better way to train, onboard, enable, and incentivize those partners than investing in a PRM platform. I'm going to have to put a plug in here. Do yourself a favor. If you're thinking about partner relationship automation, check us out at impartner.com. Teresa, that I love the 7 myths of being a channel. You teased at the beginning that you might be getting into something new. Any more you want to share on that?
Yeah, I'll share 2 things. One, just a plug for our education offerings. You know, a lot of your success 2 years or 3 years from now as a director or a senior manager or a leader is getting the right skills. And so, and I just encourage you to really get the right skills here. Many people think they know them, but we don't actually have them. I was one of those people. That's one. And then we will be soon coming out with some of the science of partnering. So look for us in tandem with 2 amazing universities, Arizona State and Notre Dame, and some exciting things to come.
Wow, how you get those 2 universes to coordinate with one another. That's a mystery in and of itself.
Incredible. Well, what's exciting too is there has not been this kind of research. So we are really pioneering new space.
Teresa, 7 myths. Not bad. Good stuff. As always, it's a pleasure to talk to you. We've been chatting with Theresa Caragol of Achieve Unite. Teresa, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you, TC.
You've been listening to TC Doyle for Impartners, Lessons from the Edge. Thanks for tuning in.